Green Arrow number 17, written by Jeff Lemire and art by Andrea Sorrentino. This is the start of Jeff Lemire and Sorrentino's run, and oh dear Lord, for those of you who know how I feel about both those things, I am so happy that this is here. So, we open up the issue now, I guess, or maybe in the future, but regardless, marching through the desert is Oliver Queen. And he's like, I've lost everything. Everything is gone from me. I am in the Arizona desert, and I am nothing now but a man who's going to die alone. And then we cut to 3 weeks earlier in Seattle, where Oliver storms into the office of Queen Industries' current acting president, Emerson. And it turns out Emerson lost all of Queen Industries. Now, I got a little bit lost in the weeds of Ann Nesenti's run, but I do believe this happened then. Like, there was a whole thing about him losing his company, or maybe that was just more specifically Q Core rather than Queen Industries. I'm not sure. But regardless, all of Queen Industries is now gone, and it's owned by some other company. And he is furious. He's like, don't you patronize me, Emerson, treating me like I'm a child. You lost my father's company. And Emerson, like, slams down his hands, and he's like, hey, I knew your father. He was a great man. He did good things. I would never purposely lose his company. The entire time, I had to keep an eye on you, because every time I gave you even a little bit of responsibility, you acted like a child, and you threw it away. And yeah, me keeping an eye on you kept me distracted, so I missed out on this hostile takeover. So very sorry, Mr. Queen. And Queen's like, okay, what... Sorry, I didn't realize all that. No. Your father did more than you can possibly imagine. Queen Industries is not the only legacy that he left for you. And Oliver's like, care to explain? He's like, yeah, I would, except you're not ready to handle it yet. It is a big thing that he left for you. And you just can't deal with it. Maybe now that you've lost it all, you're finally going to be able to grow up. And at that point, again, they keep on arguing until Emerson says, nothing that has ever happened to you has been an accident. Of course, alluding to him being shipwrecked on that island. And Oliver's like, what do you mean? And he's like, all right, I'm going to tell you about your true birthright. And throughout all these panels, we see this interstitial of an archer getting locked and loaded until finally this panel kicks in and the window cracks and an arrow comes through and shoots Emerson in the back of his back, I guess. And at that point, Oliver's like, oh, geez, oh, God, what happened? And we see that it's actually like a grapple arrow. So the rope retracts and Emerson goes flying out the back of the window. And everyone doesn't see the fact that he was shot in the back. They just see Oliver standing there next to the window and Emerson through it. And he's like, oh, this looks bad. And the security guards are immediately like, Mr. Green, step away from the window. You're under arrest or whatever. And I'm fairly certain that Oliver just kind of uses like some office supplies and stuff like that to overpower the guards. Like he uses a pen to take one of them out and jam the gun. He uses just a few little things. And it's a cool little action fight scene where he makes his way out of the building. He knocks out a guy in an elevator to use him for a security clearance. And as he makes his way out the front door, he's calling his backup of Jax and Naomi. And he's like, hey, Jax, need my Green Arrow gear? I'm coming to you now. I'm going to be at this location. He's like, actually, now's not a good time, Oliver. We're at the Q-Core building. We can't really come to you right now. He's like, what do you mean you can't come to you? Emerson just got shot and he's dead. Like, so we got to deal with this now. He's like, and then they cut to a shot of Jax and Naomi, who are currently inside of some place. Naomi is bound and gagged, and Jax says, like, I'm sorry, Ollie, he's making us. And then the Q-Core building explodes. And he's like, there were a bunch of innocent people in there, as well as my team. Somebody knows who I am and my secret identity, and they're coming to kill me. So I need to get out of here. And he starts running down the street. Turns out that Jax convinced him to set up like a few little safe houses around the city so that he'd be able to get some gear even if the main place was gone. And he goes to one of them. He picks up some Green Arrow stuff. And as he makes his way out of the building, he's like, all right, I'm going to go do some hunting. But as soon as he steps out, the dude from before has an arrow trained right at his face. And he is like, hey, Oliver, nice to meet you. He fires an arrow at Oliver's feet. He realizes, though, that like, he wasn't trying to aim for Oliver. It was actually a flashbang. So it goes off. Oliver's blind for a while, and the guy introduced himself. He's like, "Yep, I expected so much more from Robert Queen's son. My name is Komodo, and I'm here to kill you." He fires off a few more shots, which Oliver gets caught off guard by. But because he trained so much, he doesn't really need his sight to fire off the arrows. He's going by sound alone, and this guy literally will not shut up about how he managed to raid Oliver's Q-core arsenal, and he's using his own trick arrows against him. But Oliver, by the time he gets his sight back, realizes this guy made his way out the building. He deduces which exit it is because he didn't hear the front door or the window open up. So he makes his way up to the roof. He sees the guy across the rooftops, who also has his arrow drawn. They fire at each other. Komodo manages to dodge the arrow that was meant for him. Meanwhile, he fired off one of Oliver's trick arrows, which was a randomly exposing like goop that traps Oliver in place as Komodo comes over and just kicks him in the face and just starts beating the crap out of him. And he's like, "You have no idea what you could have been. I thought you were going to be like an actual challenge, but you're just like a kid. This isn't even fun." So he pulls the last arrow out of his quiver, just a totally normal one, and he draws a shot. And then all of a sudden, this dude shows up, and instead of eyes, he just has scarred X's over them. And he tackles Komodo and says, "Oh, it's not his time yet." And turns out this guy's name is Magus. And he's like, "Hey, stay out of this, Magus. This isn't your problem." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you and the others have gotten too greedy, so now it is my problem." And Magus throws down a smoke bomb or something to manage to grab Oliver and get him out of there. And Oliver's like, "I have no idea who you are." And he's like, "I'm the Magus. Here's the thing. You were never supposed to leave the island." And that's where we leave off. Green Lantern is finally written by somebody good. Somebody actually really good at telling stories. And I am so in love with the art style. I cannot even begin to describe how tectonic of a shift this is from even so much as the last issue. I adore this. I love this with every fiber of my being, and I can only assume it's going to get better from here. Oh, God, I need to calm down. So, in terms of rating, I mean, like subjectively comparing it to the last 17 issues of Green Arrow, it's a 10 because it's just leagues ahead. It is so much better. But if I'm trying to remain objective in terms of how good it is, it's just its own thing. It naturally wiped the board of all the players that came before. It's doing its own thing now, and it introduced those characters naturally. It gave this new plot that we're going on. It did everything right. I literally have no and the art, again, beautiful. The only critique I could possibly have is the fact of they're laying it on really thick now of like, "Oh, you were never supposed to leave. You have this extra purpose that you didn't even know about." And I'm like, okay, we can get that over time. We don't need that all up front. But considering how far down the ladder Green Arrow was for 17 issues, I think they needed that little extra pump to be like, "Guys, don't worry, it's not going to be anything like that." So I'm going to give it a 9. I really think this is good. It's a fantastic start to an arc, and I am so looking forward to the rest. So Green Arrow, check it out.